Headlines. Government says modernization of railways to boost economic development. Infrastructure development boost to small and medium enterprises. Government hosts released Dapchi schoolgirls. Welcome to the news hour at this time on Television Nigerian. I am Eunice Johnson. The ongoing intervention by the federal government in the construction and modernization of the country's railway infrastructure will boost economic development and further national integration. This formed the thrust of a recent closed-door meeting between President Muhammadu Buhari and the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi. TVN's Austin Peacemaker Inaide reports.
The flag-off of the Abuja-Kaduna commercial train services on the first ever standard gauge train track in the country will return the country on the path of prosperity. The project will link all the state capital and major commercial cities in the country. President Muhammadu Buhari, who was a special guest of honor at the event, promised to return the country to the beautiful old days when railway transportation enhanced the country's economic fortune. The railway modernization project included Lagos, Calabar, and Port Harcourt, Maiduguri rail lines linking more than 10 states of the country at an estimated cost of about $15 billion. This initiative forms the basis for a meeting between the President and the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi.
I'm traveling to India next week to look for funds. Just be rest assured that nobody will be left behind. The President is the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And not because his eastern flank goes to Igbo or southern flank goes to the south-south. No. It's because he believes that this infrastructure should have been there before this time. All those funds we got when we were selling oil at 110, 120, why were the funds not applied to infrastructure? That's the question we need to ask. And the President insists that now, no matter how poor we are, we need infrastructure to grow the economy. Without infrastructure, the economy won't grow. And when the economy grows, you create employment.
The transport also gave further insight into the ongoing Itai-Benin-Warri and Lagos-Ibadan railway project, which will be completed in August 2018. This will include the construction of new stations. From Abuja, Austin Peacemaker Inaide, TVN News.
The construction of roads and other infrastructure creates a pool of opportunities to a long chain of beneficiaries. From artisans, unskilled manpower and business operators, construction site is a convergence point for a gamut of endeavors. TVN's Austin Peacemaker Inaide looks at the elements and happenings at a road construction site.
The growth of small and medium enterprise in any country marks an increase in per capita income of the people. These SMEs include petty trades, construction, and the purification of other petty businesses. A typical example of this is the avalanche of petty businesses like food and water vendors found at construction sites.
One of the things that the President committed to in the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan was to invest in the Nigerian people. Those are Nigerian people in whom the President's investment commitment is manifesting.
Quarries, construction workers, businessmen and women and other skilled and unskilled manpower. It is a long chain of endeavors that litter the landscape of construction sites.
Always feed my family, and the work helped me very much and helped my family and my brothers and so on and my colleagues. I help them with this work.
We have here, these people are buying plots, and maybe 1 or 2 years, this one will be occupied.
I input for this market. Do you understand? I help you, my mother and father.
To this extent, the construction sector does more than putting up infrastructures. It opens up means of income to locals at the area of construction, as it boosts the per capita income of a rather long chain of those linked in one way or the other to the endeavors. From Abuja, Austin Peacemaker Inaide, TVN News.
The return of the abducted Chibok girls is still causing ripples in Nigeria and outside the country. In this report, TVN's Anthony Momodu gives an account of the government on the incident.
A day after their release, the abducted Dapchi girls are in Abuja for a first-hand interface with President Muhammadu Buhari in Abuja. The girls have been in captivity for more than 1 month without a sense of when they were to be reunited with their families. But at 20 minutes past 8 o'clock, the girls who were recently released by their abductors arrived at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. The theatre commander Operation Lafia Dole, Major General Rogers Nicholas, took time to chronicle the list and placement of the girls after thorough documentation to ascertain the true identities of the girls.
So behind them is GSS 2. This one's here, GSS 2 students. GSS 2. And then behind them is GSS 1 students.
After this, the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, took newsmen through the process of the girls' release. He says this explains the staggering figures. The Information and Culture Minister was also quick to debunk reports of ransom paid to the abductors.
The task before us now is to look at the list that we had before and then check against, those who have been returned.
The release include 104 schoolgirls, a boy identified as a water vendor, and a girl whose identity remains unclear. It is clear that 6 out of the schoolgirls remain unaccounted for, a situation the minister says is being studied by the government.
And one of the understandings was that while we negotiate towards total cessation of hostility, there will be no abductions. So for us, it was a moral issue. The government, led by its negotiators, reminded them of the agreement that there will be no abduction, that they've breached that agreement. And that's why there was no swap, there was no money paid. Any other story to the contrary is false.
At the moment, the girls are housed in a facility where they are undergoing medical scrutiny. Anthony Momodu, TVN News.
Parents of the recently released Dapchi schoolgirls say government lived up to its promises of rescuing their children. TVN's Beneth Joshua has more on this.
After 1 month of grieving for their missing children, some parents of the abducted Dapchi schoolgirls are heaving sighs of relief following the return of their children. Eyewitness accounts say that the abductors drove into Dapchi town in a convoy of 9 trucks. Soon after the abductors, who were reportedly fully armed and combat ready, had left the town, the girls were taken to a nearby hospital for medical checks. One of the girls who narrated her ordeal said that they spent about 4 days in the bush before they could reach Dapchi town. She explains that some of her colleagues lost their lives on their way to where they were kept. They were, however, fed and properly taken care of by their abductors. Some of the parents thanked the government for successfully negotiating the release of their children. As the world congratulates the government for its effort at ensuring the release of the girls.
In the prayers of every Nigerian that's supporting this situation to be a true story has delivered a success to us. And we are very grateful for that bit.
It must, however, be stated that more needs to be done to ensure the safe return of the remaining Dapchi and Chibok girls.
When we return from this break, Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka cautions pressure group on detractors. Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka has asked a group of Nigerian intervention movement to be cautious of fifth columnists. Wole Soyinka said this at the Grand National Summit and launch of a grand political coalition on the future of Nigeria. Speaking at the event, which held in Abuja, the renowned academic literary prize winner asked promoters of the group to be vigilant, noting that spoilers will attempt to hijack the mandate of the group. And in sports, ahead of the Friday's friendly ties between the Super Eagles and the Polish national team, Reports from the Eagles Radisson Blue camp in Poland indicate that almost all the invited players are on camp. And on the foreign scene, a Brazilian bishop has been arrested in connection with a corruption case involving $600,000. Police raided the home of Jose Ronaldo, the bishop of Formosa, who is accused of working with other Catholic clergymen to divert the money. Footage released shows officers retrieving a bag of cash from behind what seemed like a shelf. Prosecutors say the money was stolen from collection boxes, tithe, donation, wedding and baptism fees at churches in 3 cities near Brazil's capital, Formosa, Posse and Planaltina. The group is believed to have bought a cattle ranch and a lottery ticket shop with the money. To end the news, a recap of the major stories. Government says modernization of railways to boost economic development. Infrastructure development, a boost to small and medium enterprises. Government host released Dapchi schoolgirls. And that's the news on Television Nigerian. But before I go, I leave you with this thought. Keep dreaming. One day, after you've probably forgotten about the dream, you'll find yourself living in it. Thanks for staying tuned. I am Eunice Johnson. Bye for now.